Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you guys some of the tools and apps that I use to calculate material takeoff, hardware, pretty much etc. What you need to accurately order material and even bid a job here. So here we're looking at PlanSwift. This is one of the applications I use to do a material takeoff. If you see here, all these dots, different colors represent different things. And to get more clear, for example, we can do, let's see, all my 4x6s here, I have them in red. And if you look at this little icon here, I created this 4x6 pretty much by hitting count. So if you look here, there's a count button. You click that and it gives you this pop up here. So I just pretty much renamed where it says new count. I renamed it to a 4x6 and I chose the color, right? Just to pretty much have everything color coordination. So for example, here are the 4x6s here. If you look at this little box, that's my 4x6 icon. And they're all the little red dots here. So if it gets too cluttered, you could always pretty much turn them off. And now you don't see them. You turn it back on, you hit this light bulb, turn it back on. But the cool thing about this, right, if I want to activate this 4x6 here, I just hit the green button. And I could, in theory, if I find another 4, I already have them all marked, so I don't want to mark another one, but pretty much go around and you hit the dot, right? So right now, I calculated 29 4x6s. So if I were to see another one, say for example, just say here in the middle, right? Click it, and it creates a dot. So now I have 30, right? So that's pretty much how I'll calculate how many 4x6s I need for this floor here, and etc. Same goes for if you got 4x4s, or what's another one here? Yeah, 4x4s, have 6x6 as well. The 6x6 here, I have them labeled in green. I calculated 13 of those, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's pretty cool because you could get a good, accurate count of what you need. Same here for header lengths. Header lengths, I usually go, this is not going to give you an exact number, but you can get pretty fucking close. You know what I'm saying? You know, for example, opening, typically you add 3 inches to the actual RO, depending if it's a single trimmer or double trimmer. So I usually just run them a little long and call it a day. And in order to get these lines here, instead of hitting that count button here, I usually go with the segment. You hit the segment tool and the same thing. You can name it a 4x8 or 6x8, depending on what kind of header the engineer specs. In this case, I have a 6x8 because all my exteriors are 2x6 walls, and there was a legend saying that all exterior walls are 6x8 unless noted otherwise. So I pretty much calculated all 6x8 except like for here, this is 6x12 call out. So I obviously going with the 6x12 there. But same thing, you can use this segment tool to get you a linear footage. So here for this 6x8, I have it in blue. Let me activate it real quick. Okay, 6x8. Okay, activate that. So if I really wanted another length, I just pretty much run it long here. And it gives me a footage, so that's pretty much calling it 4'7". You can round up to 5 foot. You do that, you do the math, and whatever linear footage you come up with is how much material you need for that specific header. So it's a pretty cool tool. It takes a little bit to learn. I'm still learning it myself, but it's a pretty cool tool to do material takeoff. And I'm doing this off the structural page. Over here, I got architectural as well that I work on. So where's the upper floor? proposed floor here. So right here I got my linear footage as far as what I'm gonna need to plate the house, in regards to bottom plates and top plates, and each color represents a different stock. For example, here my 3x bottom plate at the shear walls, I labeled them as teal. So this is how much footage I'm gonna need, 75 foot. So I rounded it off at 80 foot, which is, 420 footers, 3x6. So I know that's what I need for this bottom plate 3x stock. Same thing with the 2x6 and the 2x4 as well. And everything's color coordinated. So this is pretty cool to get your material takeoff. So that's one app. Another app I use here is AutoCAD. That's why I figure out my elevations, specific beams like PSLs and Versa lamps and stuff like that. I could just pull a dimension off my CAD, and this CAD here is extracted from the architect file. We just gotta scale it per plan, and you can do a lot of takeoff here as well. I do the more specific takeoff here for beams here because these beams are a bit more expensive. So you want to be a bit more accurate, but pulling this pull dimension here, it's a 17 foot 10, 7x14 Versa lamp. So, and it shows two of them. So I would buy or order two 18 footers. So this is another pretty cool tool to do some takeoff here as well, and specifically more elevations here. Like for example, I'm trying to figure out wall heights. So I got to pretty much draw in my rafters and my height above plate, and I'll pretty much figure out an exact wall height and how is it gonna work with my second floor and stuff like that. So this is a pretty cool app as well, AutoCAD. So far we got AutoCAD, PlanSwift, PlanGrid. This is another one we use, and this is just pretty much like a hard copy set of plans on the computer. Gives you everything here. And then I transfer all my material list from my PlanSwift here to this Excel sheet here that I have formulated and labeled here as far as what material I need, and saying what kind of headers are needed. Pretty much label them here, and you could clean this up a little bit once you have all your material is completed, and you can actually send this to the lumberyard and specify exactly what order you want your material delivered. So this is another pretty cool app that I use. And those are pretty much the three main ones as far as I think what you need as far as giving an accurate estimate and bid for a framing project. So yeah.